process behind putting Giroux on a wing on a line with Couturier?
Well, we're in camp and we want to look at at all the good options that that we might have, and that's one that we wanted to look at with Coots up the middle, and then you have Voracek on one side and Giroux on the other on their off wings, and it was a good. It's a good day to take a look at it in practice, and it was overall it was a pretty effective day for that group.
You and Ron both talked about the versatility of guys, and it's usually a center that can go out and play the wing, but for somebody who's done it for so long exclusively at center, I mean, I know he was a right wing before he basically came to the NHL.
Yeah.
Is there a different time period that you're looking at for somebody that's done it for that long?
I don't know. I'm sure it's I think it's a challenge for any player to be versatile, and in this case, obviously with G being he's been our number one centerman and still is, and he's he's a guy that he's such a good player that I think he can play any position on the ice, and I think you see, obviously it's in a practice situation, but I think you see that in pretty obvious sense on a day like today. But there's always an adjustment period there, but no question for a good player like him, I think he can play anywhere on the ice.
He threw out the two Joes in San Jose, Thornton, Pavelski, guys who have kind of done that, played center, played the wing.
Yeah.
Do you see some similarities, some parallels with that?
I'm not trying to draw any parallels to any other players around the league. I guess I look at the level of camp that G has been outstanding, and I know it's early, but he's at a very high level right now. So we talked about it a lot, and thought that this was early in camp, 5-6 days in. This is a good time to take a look at it. Now we'll evaluate it and talk about it a little bit after one practice today and see where we go from there. Not going to. We're not going to draw any conclusions until we look at it closely and talk about it and see if there's a next step.
Does this suggest at all that you like Nolan's progress? Because if Nolan is to stick with this team right out of camp, that there are some adjustments.
No, I wouldn't connect the dots to that quite. I think that's too early of a connection to make. I think it's obvious that we have a number of players that that are good centermen. Yuri Laterra has jumped over to the left side for the first few practices in the first preseason game today. This gave us an opportunity to have Yuri back up the middle. So no, I wouldn't draw the connection directly towards Nolan Patrick at this point in time. I think Nolan's had a good camp and had another solid day today, but I wouldn't draw that direct line.
These types of experiments, are they just as much meant to have in your back pocket to know that in a tight game in the third period you can go to a line like this as much as a day one line?
Sometimes they can be, but in this case it's a line we wanted to look at. So it's tough to for sure it's tough to take a look during the season at different things. But at this time of camp, I think it was a good time for us to be able to do it.